Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. And finally, we have absolute 100% confirmation that the L Word is going back to filming. I am so excited. I hadn't actually listened to Pants yet by like 9 a.m. and I was working away, and one of my subscribers, Tammy, texted me and said, oh my gosh, they just said we're going back to filming in 3 weeks. So I straight away popped my earpods in and I was like, I have to listen to this right now. Skip to the end just to listen to the end, and then obviously went back to the start. But Leisha and Kate, I will try and drop some dialogue in here so that you can all hear it with your own ears.
Everybody else in the world, and thank you,
Listen,
Leisha.
I'm going to see you soon on set because we are going back to work. It's official.
Let's be honest. I'll see you before then, but I look forward to seeing you on set.
Yeah, we start in like 3 weeks. I'm excited. I'm really, really excited.
Me
Isn't
too.
it going to be fun to get back to work?
It'll be nice to have purpose, to get out of the house.
Yeah.
I think my dog is going to be completely confused and dismayed.
Shocked.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to get it, but she'll figure it
You got
out.
to pay for the dog food somehow.
Hey, look, gotta hustle.
All right, I'll see you before.
All right, great.
But I love you, and you don't irritate me at all.
But I honestly could not be happier. I'm not saying I was losing faith or anything. There was a few people that were, and they made themselves known in my comment section saying like, oh, you know, we don't know what's going on. I don't think they're going to film. And I was a bit worried that they were going to push it back again, because obviously it's Thanksgiving next week. Then we're going to start running into Christmas. So they must be really keen to get back to filming, which makes me think that, I'm not saying like the season's gonna start playing in like February or anything, but if they are starting it so close to Christmas, it makes me think that they already have an air date, maybe not an exact, like the 17th of March, but they probably have a window that Showtime has given them to that Showtime wants to start airing it. So, I mean, it would be cool if it was March, because I think every season except season 1 or season 2 aired in March, and it was always like March, April, May that the show always used to air. So that would be really cool, but anytime. I'm cool with anything. Just so glad that we are definitely getting the show back quite soon. And I mean, I'm just glad that we're going to have new episodes to review, new episodes to talk about. Trailers are going to start coming out in the Miss Gloria's even excited, in the not too distant future. We're going to have gossip, we're going to have behind the scenes, we're going to have pictures, we're going to have just everything. Casting news, how many episodes are we going to get Laurel Holloman in, what's going on. It's just, this news just made my whole day. Honestly, I had a crazy busy day, but it's just made it. So I'm so happy. Miss Gloria's happy, and I'm sure all of you are happy too. So I mean, that's pretty much it for the news. I mean, we obviously have all the other stuff we've talked about on the channel, storylines, cast that we know is coming back. I'll link up above my season 2 playlist, which has all my videos that I have done on season 2 of the L Word, which is quite a lot because we've, gone through this crazy, the show's coming back filming with mannequins. We're not using mannequins. We are. It's November, it's December. Wait, it's back to November. So yes, from the first video that I did saying the return of Generation Q, a million things have changed, and 900,000 of them have changed back. But of course, they're all there, especially my storylines video and the ones where I go over the cast, who's coming back, what we're hoping for. And if you haven't already seen it, the other day I posted a video which basically talks about how a lot of the fans want Bette and Tina back together, Tibette's endgame, and I did like an open letter to Showtime saying why I thought that should happen. So if you haven't already checked that out, I'll also link that in the cards above, and I'll also link it at the very end of this video. You know, you get those two options. I'll pop it there as well. So if you get to the end of this video, you just have to click on it. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, now is the time. We are getting filming news, trailers, breakdowns, scripts, behind the scenes pictures, spoilers, which I will always put a spoiler warning if it's something that's pretty much confirmed, or it's, you know, a character that's coming back from the original or something. I'll always put a spoiler warning, but all this stuff is happening. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell notification so that you're notified anytime I post a new video. And then at least if you're notified, you can check it, see if it's about season 2, see if it's something you want to watch. And if it is, you can click on it and check it out. If you're excited for season 2 of The L Word and this filming news, give the video a like. And if you have any questions, thoughts, or just want to celebrate, pop that down in the comment section down below. So now that we have got all of our excitement out of the way, let's talk about our retro review, season 4, episode 8, Lexington and Concord. So Jenny, we're starting again with our whole Jenny weird, dreamy fantasy sequence. I mean, we haven't had too many of those this season, which is another bonus about season 4. But we do only get one that's at the beginning, and Jenny isn't a big part of this episode. It's mostly the scene where Kit is performing and they're on the planet, and Jenny has come to meet her agents and Tina, and then also some other people who are trying to get Jenny's Les Girls script to make into a movie. So not too much from Jenny this week, but normally I do like Jenny to be kind of short and sweet, so that was fine with me. Max also doesn't have too much going on this episode. This episode was kind of, everybody had like little bits going on. No one really had the bulk of the storyline this episode. Max just, you know, his job is still kind of really grinding down on him because obviously he came out at work, and then also Max does hire Grace the intern in this episode, and he is working a lot for Alice with the chart. And the fact that Alice is working on the chart, she has Max, you know, who he's like really qualified and makes really good money at his job, so I'm sure that either she's given him like shares or she's paying him decently. And then they also have an intern. Like, the chart must be doing really, really well. So on to Shane, Shay, Paige and Jared. The Shane and Paige storyline, I don't know what, it never really interested me. I just thought it was so boring, to be honest. It just never really appealed to me. I was way more interested in the whole Shane Shay thing because, as I've said before on the channel, my youngest sibling, my brother, he is 15 years younger than me, and Gloria's shaking the camera stand. My mum passed away when he was young, but his whole life, like, I've looked after him. I'm the one who took him to school, who packed his lunch, did his homework with him, and I just moved into university in September, but because the UK's in lockdown and we on the Isle of Man, if you're interested in knowing about the Isle of Man being COVID free, link above. And because we are COVID free, my brother had to do 2 weeks of quarantine, so we like rented him a little house. Like, you can't leave, and it's very heavily policed here. People are arrested and jailed over it. So, and that's anyone coming into the island has to do that. Only residents are allowed to come onto the island at the moment. So he, you know, stayed there, and I dropped him off food and set it all up for him before. But yesterday he got out of the quarantine, and it was so nice to see him. I burst in the door this morning to wake him up. It was like, my son has returned. So yeah, I love that storyline with Shane, and at the end of this episode, Shane and Shay's dad turns up again. So, and the funny thing is, when just before the dad turns up, there is a Generation Q prediction, call out, I don't know, funny little Easter egg, I guess. Just before their dad turns up, Shay's talking to another woman at the skateboard shop, and Shane's saying, oh yeah, I can't really afford to get someone with a garden. And the woman says to her, have you ever looked further and looked out at Silver Lake? And Silver Lake is where they shoot Generation Q now, and where Generation Q is set, and also where I adopted my name from. Kit has her absolute meltdown in this episode. I know when I first watched this, I was expecting it the whole time, because she just, wow, she picked her moment right when they're performing and they're singing this love song and stuff. So yeah, Kit really blew her top, and she kind of barricades herself in the office, and she's pulled out some vodka, and yeah, and Bette comes in obviously, and she says to Bette, like, I know you knew, and Bette says she was trying to protect her. So just forgive Bette really quick, but yeah, I mean, she goes off with Poppy and it's a whole thing, but Poppy obviously doesn't take any advantage, which she was just trying to be there for Kit, and she obviously has a big crush on her. But Kit is, yeah, just spinning out a bit after this whole Angus thing. Helena is continuing down her gambling path with Catherine. We actually see Helena's kids in this episode, which not she'd completely forgotten about them, and we really don't see them that much again. But I'm always pretty interested in this gambling aspect, because I've said this before on the channel too, that I worked in the gaming gambling world for the past 7-8 years, and I worked for PokerStars, which is like the online poker company. They are poker online, and one of my best friends who I met through my job at Stars, because I worked in the Isle of Man office and I worked in the US office, and one of my best friends, she's a frequent visitor on this channel. She actually used to date probably the most famous poker player in the world, and just working at PokerStars, like, we were, you know, around poker players all the time. Even a lot of the staff played poker. And then I also worked for an Asian e-gaming company, and I worked for another company where I was a games publisher, and they actually made the slot games themselves, and we also did table games too. But in general, gaming too, like, my family has racehorses. I was at racetracks before I could walk, and my dad actually had the first ever e-gaming website way back in the mid-90s, and he had bettinternet.com, so that is like a blast from the past. But I do like playing poker and blackjack myself, but as I said in my last video and the one before, the house always wins, and someone who used to have a big input into making and creating and publishing the slot games. I mean, everything from the math side to the art side, those games are pretty, you know, heavily favoured towards the house, and they always win. So save your money is my opinion. I don't play those games. But obviously all my extensive knowledge in gaming is, the point I'm trying to make is, Helena, I mean, even when I was watching these episodes new, when I hadn't really had the experience with, you know, the gaming companies myself, just being on, working for my dad when I was like a young teenager, and being around a lot of people who gambled, you're always going to lose, break even. You're going to have a few good days. Yeah, like, I put a few bets on a year, but you should never bet more than you're prepared to lose. And if you win, that's a nice bonus, and if you lose, it's money that you could lose. but when I watched this new, I was like, Helena. And even now, I'm even more, just thinking she's just setting herself up for a disaster here, because it always goes good and then it just can go so bad, so fast, so quick. I've seen some insane things. I've seen people win millions on games like progressive jackpots, and I've watched those people dump back the entire millions back into the gaming site. There's just, I can tell, maybe sometime I'll make a video about all the insane things that happened to me when I worked in the gambling industry. Alice and Tasha this episode, they're, starting their couple relationship and things are going well until the new intern for Alice, Grace, has like a political t-shirt against the war on, and they all start, talking about, the episode was on when the Iraq war was on, so they're all talking about like Bush and his policies and things, and Tasha obviously being a soldier, and Alice is like, oh god, I'm sorry, and they go back to hers, and they're kind of, having an argument, but then that obviously heats things up for them, and off they go. Now on to my two favourite bits of the episode, but also frustration in the episode. When I watched this episode new, I remember I was going through a really bad breakup at the time too, and I was just like, Tina, what are you doing? That first scene where Tina saying, I think I made a mistake, I was just like, Bette, why didn't you kiss her? Like, you idiot, that was your move. And then Jodie comes in and it's just, ugh. And then when they're at the bar later, I'm gonna, I always put pictures on the screen, but this, what is going on here? Tina, you idiot, look at the way Bette's looking at you, and the way Bette stands up for her and everything. It's just so meant to be Bette and Tina. What are you doing to us? Torturing us again, Showtime. And season 4 now, after obviously I know what happens, and season 5, but yeah, they were torturing us then back in season 4, but luckily we didn't have too many episodes to go. It was a good few, and the other thing is there was a huge, obviously, break between the end of season 4 and the beginning of season 5. So yeah, I love those scenes. I just wish that Bette had kissed her, or Tina had made the move too. They're so sweet, and you can just, the way that they're looking at each other and stuff. There's a meme going around at the moment, and it's like, what isn't sex but is sex? And someone had put the Bette and Tina dancing from the rap party in season 5, and those looks between Bette and Tina. It isn't, but it feels like it. And that's pretty much it for this episode, guys. It wasn't a huge amount going on in this episode, but those Bette and Tina scenes that bookended the whole episode, they really, really made it for me. I absolutely loved both of them, and I really enjoyed that little Silver Lake comment. I thought it was funny, and just, I like the whole Les Girls thing building up too. And next episode is where we get Marina come in. Weird episode where she shows up singing in Les Girls. And also we have only 3 more episodes left for the season, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment. And if you do all of those things, you'll be entered into a draw to win the L Word Generation Q Season 1 on DVD. And if for some reason you're in a country where the DVD isn't out yet, then there'll be an L Word shirt or some other merchandise that you can pick up to the value of the DVD. So don't worry if the DVD is not available in your area. Don't forget to also follow me on social media. Keep up with everything L Word related in between videos. And definitely follow me over there now, because as I said at the start of the video, we are definitely getting season 2 pretty soon, as they are going back to film in 3 weeks. It actually probably is more like 2.5 because Leisha and Kate will have shot this a while ago, and obviously it's coming out on a Wednesday, so it's probably most likely going to be between the 30th of November and the 7th of December they go back. So, and also like each actress may start on a different day. Like the crew is obviously going back before, and they'll probably start doing things around the 30th. And then people like Jennifer Beals, Leisha Haley, Kate Manning, they'll all go back the same time, most likely. But depending how they're also shooting with, you know, they might only be allowed a certain amount of people on set. They might try and do like all Jennifer Beals scenes or all group scenes on one day. So it'll be interesting also to see how they are getting around things, because shows like Grey's Anatomy and stuff, they're lucky that they're portraying a show in a medical environment, and on the show the doctors are wearing masks and things, so they're pretty safe on Grey's. But it'll be interesting to see what the L Word is doing and whether they're using screens like, you know, most other shows. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you're taking care of yourselves, staying safe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!